Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Geekonomics. We are back after a bit of a hiatus just to center ourselves and prepare for the fire hose that is 2023 that's going to be coming at us with all the things that are going to be coming out that we need to cover. So I figured this is a good time. Take a little breather, take a little step back, focus on ourselves, center. And now we're back. So, Bryon, how was your week that was? But first off, sorry, I forgot you wanted to do something.
My week was good, but Mark,
The
before
end
we
of
get
this
into
month,
the
this
end of
next coming month.
February,
Yes.
the end of February, February 26th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., East of the River Comic Book and Collectible Show is back in Enfield, Connecticut.
That it is.
$1 early bird is at 9 a.m. at $3 to get you in 1 hour early. As all the vendors are setting up or have set up, you'll get first dibs, basically.
Yeah.
You just pay $2 extra and you basically get the place to yourself because we don't get a lot of early birds. I mean, sometimes we do, but
Well, if we promote it right, we will.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's February 26th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is at the American Legion Hall, 566 Enfield Street, right here in Enfield, Connecticut, aka Route 5. It's the main
right next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. You get yourself a Dunkin' and you get yourself a comic book.
Yeah. So come on down, check it out. Don't forget to stop by Scott's booth and wish him happy birthday. He turned 60 just recently. So wish him a happy 95th birthday and tell him that we sent you.
95th?
Yes.
It was 60. He turned 60. If you wish Scott a happy birthday, I think he might have something for you.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like he'll shake your hand or something.
Yeah. Or say thank you. One of the two. And look at you oddly. Like, how do you know it's my birthday? Yes. Eastern River Comics and Collectible Show coming up February 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check it out. And buy a comic. I don't know how to end that.
All right. I was going to say.
But you had something to say. Like you were about to say something.
So, Mark, we haven't been on the show since. It was you, me, Matt, Ryan. We went on a little adventure to Scott's 60th surprise birthday party.
Yes.
At a really cool place. I don't know if we talked about this.
No, because you hadn't been on the show since.
Yeah, and then we went to
House of Books and Games.
Yes, which is a cool place. I feel like we did talk about this. Am I crazy?
I don't remember.
I think we did a show after.
Okay.
And then we took, we did talk about, holy crap. January flew by. Let me just say, today it feels like early spring. And then tomorrow we're going to go back to seasonably cold weather, which we haven't had.
And then this weekend it's going to be like the Arctic, where it's like minus with like wind chill and craziness.
Minus
right back to 40s again, like that by next Wednesday.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. But and we still have been dodging the bullet when it comes to snowstorms.
Yes. Knock on wood.
We've been dodging those bullets.
Yes.
I kind of feel like if we don't get anything in February,
I said it to Claire the other day, like right after we had that little tiny snowstorm, I think last week.
Yeah, Monday.
Like an inch or two at the most. I said, leave it to the world to the first winter after my dad passes away for it to not snow once, like a significant amount of snow. Because he'd be like, are you serious? I complained every time about snow. God damn, I go out and snowblow the driveway. Got to make sure the snowblower's ready. And the 1 year he's not here, not a bit of snow. So he's in heaven right now, complaining about it and being like, "What the hell?"
Or he's saying, "Oh, thank God."
Well, he's just turning to him like, "Thank God."
Thank God.
Thank you.
We did have the plowable snow before Christmas time, and then that was it.
That wasn't like much of anything. That wasn't like up here.
Yeah, but it's
I know down like it was weird. Like up here, we got a decent amount, but not
4 or 5
as much
inches.
as Enfield got.
Yeah, Enfield. But then Buffalo, New York got like 6 feet.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a storm. They got 6 feet.
Yeah, and just this past weekend, it was like negative with wind chill, like negative 40 in Maine, which is craziness.
No, that's Maine for you.
Yeah, but just like from there to here, it was literally like minus 40 there, and it was 40 here.
Yeah.
Man.
Because we got the warm weather hanging over us, and the cold weather keeps going to the north of us.
Yes.
So Vermont, New Hampshire, they're getting all the snow.
Yeah.
In Maine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But my week, Mark, real quick, only a few things. Buffy, I'm almost done with season 1.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
in a new show now, I saw.
Yeah, Wolfpack.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's corny and cheesy. There have been some stupid episodes. The one stupid one was the dummy who was possessed by a demon. It was like a story right out of Goosebumps.
Yes,
or what?
Remember that one? Yeah,
or Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah.
It was it was weird.
Like
afterwards.
Child's Play.
Well, this guy is a ventriloquist doll, and this guy is using it, and it's possessed by. Well, you come to find out, he's possessed by a demon killer.
Yeah,
and the kid it's looking for the demon, and once it can kill it, it will die. The soul will go away. And he talks like a 1950s detective. It's so fucking weird. But it was the dumbest
Mind
episode.
of Josh Whedon. That's the crazy part.
But for some strange way, it was enjoyable. I can't explain it. It worked because it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yes. The show never did.
The hyena episode is one of my favorites, and today I just watched the episode when everybody, their worst fears come to light because this little boy Billy, and it's actually a really good one. But I'm enjoying it. It's a great show.
A recap of a 30-year-old show, everybody.
I'm just saying, I eat my words. As I get older, I realize I'm not right about everything. I am wrong, and I will admit when I'm wrong. And I have, like we all are. Yeah. I have said in the past that I think Josh Whedon was overrated. And even though I think he's a garbage person, I'm separating the art from the artist because I didn't grow up with Buffy like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But as I'm watching it, I'm separating his garbage personality behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I can now admit that I really enjoyed Firefly, and I'm really enjoying Buffy. And I could understand the fandom that he created with these shows.
Did he also do Dollhouse? Is that Josh
But
Whedon?
Dollhouse didn't last. That
was a Josh Whedon thing too, right?
Yeah.
What's his name from Dawson's Creek in it? And Mighty Ducks.
And also I have the utmost respect for Sarah Michelle Gellar, because even though a lot of people from the show have come out against Josh Whedon, and she has always stayed professional, and even during Wolfpack, she has a new show promotion, a lot of people are asking, of course they want to talk about Josh Whedon.
Yeah.
And all she says, and I think this is the most professional thing to do, and she says the show means a lot to people.
Yeah.
That's the story that I have that will stay personal to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like she knows enough has been said. And to have the main actress come out, because it would sully the show for a lot of people. And I think the show meant a lot to a lot of folks.
And she also probably didn't get the stuff that everyone else did because she was the star of the show. So
yeah, but she probably witnessed it. And
but I'm saying she probably didn't get a lot of the stuff that everyone else got.
Yeah. Needless to say, I like that answer. I like how she is she's just like, listen, that's my business.
Yeah.
But still, like I said, I eat my words. I mean, the show is fantastic, and it's so funny how Xander is basically Chandler.
Yes.
Chandler Bing.
Low rent. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The Orville, I'm back. I'm loving the Orville season 2. I'm almost done with that. Nice. And the reason I bring that up is obviously we got a season 3, which I'm excited to get to. But when asked about season 4 of the Orville, the executives at Hulu said their statement was, well, we're glad all the fans got to have it back in their lives for season 3.
Yeah.
but there's no talks about a season 4 as of now. So basically, it reads like, we're glad you had it for one more season, but we have no plans to bring it back.
Well, because it's not really a Hulu show.
Yes, it's.
I know it airs on Hulu, but it's Disney produces it.
Yes, but it's different. It's Hulu. Yeah. It's on Hulu exclusive. It went from Fox.
Well, I mean, if Disney were to make another season, they would air it. I'm saying.
No. Yes. Yeah. But as of now, there has been no talks about a season 4.
Well, Seth MacFarlane even said he wasn't sure if he was doing a 4th one.
Listen, I don't know.
Because last I remember hearing that, I vaguely remember something about him saying that season 3 was a lot of work to get accomplished because they switched from Fox to Hulu and all the stuff that happened and getting the show produced and everything. That he said it's a lot of work to get another season put together.
Well, I hope there is talks of a season 4 down the line. Yeah. But
season 3 took forever to come out. I think it was like 2 years.
But the budget was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time. I love the show. I'm like, what's the rush? I watch a couple every week, just like Buffy. I'm like, what's the rush?
Yeah. I mean, what's the rush? It only took you 30 years to watch Buffy, so
right.
And 30 years to finish Orville.
Yeah. And Vox Machina, I've only watched the first 3 episodes, and I know they're releasing 3 every Friday. But I'm like, I just watch one every couple days.
Rush?
What's the rush?
You only do a show that talks about current events and pop culture.
You didn't watch The Last of Us episode 3, so
I'm watching it today.
Watch it today.
Like I'm watching it next month or anything like you would do.
Well, Vox Machina, I will watch the new 3 this week before Friday.
It's definitely got an arc to it this season so far. It's like the first episode's like the like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. Like the setup episode, second episode's like the story episode, and then the third one's like the big cliffhanger-y thing that happens.
Yeah.
In the end of the third episode. I'm like in like each arc, like of the 3 episodes. You know?
Well, come to find out, they got approved. They said they were going to do season 2, but they got approved for season 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
So this allows.
And they got Mighty 9 approved.
What is that?
Their other campaign, their second campaign.
Yeah, they're going to have another.
Just got announced.
Yeah.
They had an ad for that on Amazon.
So episode 2, season 2 and 3 are going to be connected. They can actually bring it along. Like season 1 was an unknown. It was like, we only got season 1. We have to do a start and end on this.
Well, they only do, if I remember correctly, I'm not a critter, as I hear that's the name of their fandoms, that their seasons are only 3 years. Like they play the campaign for like 3 years, and then it transitions to something else. So it could be like they could wrap up the Vox Machina story next season and then go into the Mighty 9 at the end of this year and then have it like overlapping at the same time, kind of.
Maybe, yeah.
I know they're already on to another campaign that's not Mighty 9.
Right. The animation does take a while. Did you see, speaking of animation on Amazon, we did get a teaser for Invincible.
Yes, I've heard very divisive things about this teaser.
Why?
A lot of internet talk of it being like not happy that they got no show content, really, like nothing that's going to be happening.
Yeah, it was It's
just Seth Rogen's character and Steven Yeun's character just sitting at a table.
Yeah, at a diner.
Talking about how long it takes to put a season together.
Yeah, I mean, with animation, it does take a while, and
animation especially because it's actually like hand drawn stuff. It's not computer stuff.
It's all hand drawn to computer, Mark. Come on.
No, but I'm saying, but they actually like draw it out first, then scan it into the computer and do it that way.
I bet you $1 million they do not do it that way. I bet you it's all hand drawn.
Oh, by the way, the thing was.
They all do. I mean, but like animation in general, it takes a long time. Yeah. I mean. Someone is still drawing it.
Yes, someone still has to draw something. It's not a computer doing it,
right? So. But they are not releasing it until the end. It's a 2023
end later. Of this year.
Yeah, which is fine. which is fine. We waited this long, and maybe they're doing more episodes. Maybe they're doing it so they don't have to take such a long.
Well, there's also like with Invincible, there's not a plethora of content that you can pull from.
What are you talking
I mean, there is, but I mean,
those books are huge.
But I'm saying, but comparatively to other like things,
dude, you get the omnibus.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they covered a lot of episodes in the first season.
Well, they covered
a lot of issues, I should say.
Their first volume or one volume. I mean, they have a lot to cover.
There's only like 3 to 4 volumes, so.
Invincible, there is a lot of volumes. You read it, you should know.
There's only like 100 some odd books, I think, or issues, I should say.
Invincible. How many volumes?
Invincible, a comic.
There are 25 volumes in the series, Mark.
Yeah, but how many issues of the book was there?
It doesn't matter. That's a lot. 25 volumes?
144 issues.
That's a lot. That is a lot, Mark.
It lasted from 2003 to 2018.
Yeah, 144 issues. That's a lot. So
they do it like once a month, though. It wasn't like
most comics.
Most
comics are once a month.
No, I'm saying, but like some of them are bi-weeklies. So I don't know. It feels like they covered a lot of the story in the first season.
I don't know because I never read them, but
which is surprising. You should read them. You would enjoy it.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
I have a lot. I read more in the summer. I'm starting to catch up on my comics actually now.
Yeah.
Because my room was a disaster area. I'm getting it ready for the February show. And then I was like, I got it all ready and I'm like, oh, I'm going to read I got to start catching up on some issues here.
Yeah,
so that's what I've been doing.
Stuff. Quicker you read them, quicker get rid of them.
Well, I keep a lot that I really enjoy that I know. But yeah, I do like to read and get rid of some stuff that I don't need. That's the whole point. Yes. But anyway, I liked the teaser. I thought it was clever and funny, and I think it would be great to have it back. I do miss that show.
Yeah.
And we got Vox Machina right now. I don't think we need.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to watch. It's not like it's like
it's like, oh my god,
we got 1 month till Mandalorian.
Right.
Just in 15-20 days till Ant-Man.
Yes, Ant-Man's in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So Marcus, I know you watched. How was the last week? What did you catch up on?
I didn't really catch up on a lot of stuff. I kind of just been watching the stuff that's out. Vox Machina, Last of Us, which is very interesting to watch a show that I have no information about, which isn't, so it's kind of interesting. I went online and on YouTube, and I found a movie version of the game. They just show like the cutscene stuff.
Well, IGN does that. They do a comparison.
Oh yeah, but whatever. I found it on YouTube. So I'm watching that as I watch the episodes. So I catch up. Like I watch the episode, then I go and watch the rest of the movie I'm watching. So I can see the differences. Like the whole Tess death thing was different, which I didn't understand, didn't know. So it's very interesting to see the difference in how they're explaining things on the show. I suppose in the game they don't explain stuff. It just happens.
Well, in the show,
like going into the back info stuff.
They mention things in the game, but then the show they can actually show you those things. Yeah. And this week's episode, I know about Bill. I knew about Frank, but we actually got a lot of great. I don't know. I was an emotional wreck at the end of this episode. I loved it. It was probably by far my favorite episode of the season. I no joke. Afterwards, Allison says, she goes, I bet someone gets nominated for an award for this episode.
Yeah.
And I agreed with that. I was like, yeah.
Mm.
And she was totally into it. We were both crying for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there's a lot of stuff in the next, like in the season, or if they go as far as, like, I don't know how far the season's going to go.
Well,
but I know of some things that happen in the game that I've seen online and stuff of like big.
Well, I would avoid all spoilers, but
sometimes you can't avoid things. People just talk about it and stuff. You know, it's kind of.
Well, I would avoid. You don't. You can. You know. You're an adult. You can avoid.
Well, even just like conversations with you guys and stuff that you guys.
I'm not talking about. I'm the only one who's played it.
Back when the game came out, I'm saying those things.
When the game came out, the only person who played it was Maddie. It was me and Maddie. Nobody else played it. So that's the only person I ever talked to about it. And
but even just the common conversations, like, and just stuff in the world, you kind of learn things, you know, know what goes on.
I have been listening to the podcast, the HBO podcast every week. Season 1 encompasses the entire first game.
Oh boy.
Then they just got approved for season 2.
I mean, I don't know how they didn't. They could have done that after the first episode.
Well, they waited, and it had the single biggest. And the numbers went up for episode 2, which was huge. Yeah. And we'll see where the trend keeps going. But season 2, they've already said on the podcast, season 1 is based on the first game, and they were going to be happy with just doing that. And they're like, if we get a season 2, we'll cover part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is so big, it could be
2 seasons.
It could be 2 seasons. But they have no plans to go further than that, because part 3, if it were to ever be made, it will probably won't even come out until the PlayStation 6 is out. I mean, it takes that long to make a game. So they said they already, in the podcast, the producer basically just said, we're willing to cover part 2, and that's it. Because that's all they'd want to do anyway. And just like The Watchmen, you just tell the story. You don't need to like continue on forever.
Unlike Walking Dead.
It's not a Walking Dead.
Drag it out for as long as humanly possible until no one wants to, until everyone hopes everyone dies.
Right. And the great thing about The Last of Us Part 1, there's a definitive ending.
Yes.
The great thing about Part 2, there's a definitive ending.
Yeah.
It's only continued because there's more story to tell, not because they left you on a cliffhanger and they're like, oh, we have to come back.
Yeah.
That's the great thing. So season 1, if season 2 never happened, it's a capsulated story.
Yeah, story. Yeah, you can get over and done with.
Yeah. So I would recommend not to spoil anything. So I would recommend just stay away from all spoilers, Marcus.
Well, I'll see what I can do, but no promises. But yeah, so that, and then over the weekend on Saturday, before Royal Rumble, my brother and I went to the Big E for the model train show. I was at the Big E last weekend for Ben Dodge's swap and sell, auto parts swap and sell for the kart series. And I saw the ad for it in the Big E, just promoting it. I was like, that sounds like something interesting. And I need an excuse to get out of the house. So I was like, let's check this out. So I went. It is ridiculously crazy. I've never knew this happened. Never knew it was a thing. I guess from talking to people there, it is the biggest model train show in North America. It encompasses 4 buildings on the Big E grounds, over 400,000 square feet of vendors and model train displays. Like, it is like the Comic-Con for model train people. Like Anaheim Comic-Con. Like, all the big model train companies are there. They all have displays. They're all selling like their newest, like unveiling their newest train models. And like some of the displays that these guys set up and people set up were ridiculous. Like, they'd take up like the length of my studio.
I'm sure.
Hallway. Just a train display. Like fully detailed, like trains from like small sizes like that to like full blown like 1/18th scale trains, all these different displays. And it was just crazy to see all the different stuff that like is going on, and the stuff that like you can buy and you can build, and like it blew my mind. It was a whole nother world that I've never knew existed. And like I've like always been into trains, and we have a train track like right behind our house, but I didn't know like this world existed, and it was that in depth and like the amount of stuff you can get. And yeah, it's like I used to make a holiday village at my parents' house growing up with my mom. We'd build a holiday village, like the Department 56 houses and stuff like that. And I thought that was neat. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, I know I was totally not even close to what these people are pulling out. Their skills are ridiculous, and the amount of work that they put into building, like they have to build everything like from scratch, basically. Like the only thing they don't have to build is the train track. Like they have to build the layouts, but the track is already made. And like they have like suspension bridges that people are making on their own, and like full on like wood bridges. It was crazy. It's something, if you've ever had any inkling, like if we're younger, like when I was younger, I had a train set, and I know a friend of mine, one of my best friends, had a train set, and we had it like in his playroom, and went all around a big table, and we played Matchboxes and Hot Wheels on the table and Legos, and like, but it's crazy. And even just Lego stuff, they had a Lego area for the New England Lego group, and the stuff they're building out of scratch, like full on buildings that are in Springfield they had made. Like they had people there from Arizona and Nebraska, like come all the way to Springfield for this show. And it's a 2-day show, and we got there probably around 11 o'clock thinking, oh, it's a train show, who goes to the train show? We were parked out where you park for the Big E, like out in the parking lot, and it was full. Like we were towards the end of the parking lot. So yeah, it's a whole different experience. I suggest if you're something different next year. It's been going on for like almost 50 years now.
And you just discovered it now.
I just discovered it now. Well, I'd heard about it last year, because it always seems to be the weekend after Ben's show. So I remember seeing the ad for it last year and being like, oh, that'd be cool to check out. And then just stuff happened and didn't go to it. But I was like, well, they got nothing going on Saturday. So, and I asked Josh if he wanted to tag along, and he was like, sure, I'll go. So we went, and it was like, we were both like, whoa, this is not what we expected whatsoever. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's like the little maps and things like John that I've seen guys build for Dungeons and Dragons. It's like that on like crack.
On trains.
On trains. Yeah.
On trains.
Yeah. And the Trolley Museum was there. So that was another reason, because we just did the show for Focus at the Trolley Museum. And they had talked about they were going to be there. And I'm actually going to volunteer there and become a motorman and drive the trolleys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A motorman.
Connection to that too. Yeah, you can actually volunteer and become a motorman and learn how to drive the trolleys. You only have to go twice a month to volunteer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Marc the motorman.
Yeah. I was like, one of my buddies from high school is the vice president, Justin Chassie. I don't know if you remember him. He was in Voices Incorporated, I think.
Maybe. Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. But he's the vice president there, and he actually is a conductor for Amtrak. He drives the train that goes actually from Springfield to New Haven. He does that.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know if that's the exact route, but he does that train. He drives the Cella that goes up and down. So that's his regular job. So yeah, I was talking with him about doing the Focus show, and then we started talking more and talking to the second director, and they're really looking for people to do it. And it's like, yeah, learn to drive a train? Why not? That'd be fun.
When do you start?
The training's in April. They have a big training they're doing April 10th. I think it's a Monday. We're going to train any volunteers that want to come. Anyone can do it. You just go and do the training, and then you just have to volunteer twice a month, at least, to drive the trolley up and down the tracks.
Wow.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, man. You get a GoPro on there. You can start.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'll bring a GoPro a couple times, and I'm gonna help with some video stuff for the museum itself and everything. So they're gonna get some. They're doing a volunteer day. I'm gonna go over there and train up some of their volunteers to do video stuff, so that way they can start doing possibly their own show. So
there you go.
Cross promotion, man. Cross promotion.
Nice.
Trying to get some butts and seats, as they say.
Keep us posted when you're going to be driving those trolleys.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to do it during the winter when the light things are going on and do that whole thing.
Or Halloween, your favorite.
Yeah, Rails to the Dark Side. See, that'd be fine because I know what's going on. That's when I don't know what's going on, is when I don't like it. If I have like the stuff laid out in front of me, I'm fine. Like if they're told like what's going to happen, I can handle that. It's the other stuff I don't like, not knowing. That's when I get aggravated.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time at the trolley,
model train show.
Train show, which I had no.
I didn't either. I had no idea how crazy it was. I didn't know it was that big. It's huge. It's like takes up like the Mallory building, which is like the building where the animals are.
Yeah.
And during the Big E, that whole building is full. The building next to it, the Young building, which is like another one of the vendor buildings during the Big E, that's completely full. The building right next to that, before the arena, the smaller building where the Clydesdale's barn is, that's like 90% full. And then the whole Better Living Center was completely full of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know, I had no idea it was that big. A lot of walking. I did all my steps for the week, basically.
Growing up, there've always been the jokes about the guys who start train model sets in their basement just to escape their wives, basically.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of that. There's a lot of older guys.
Yeah.
And it's an expensive hobby to get into. Like, Josh and I were like, Josh was like, oh, maybe because now they clean out my parents' basement. Josh was like, oh, maybe I'll get into train stuff. That'd be cool to have a train set. And then he started looking at prices like, nope, not getting into this.
It's expensive.
I was like, I don't think you're going to be able to afford this, my friend, but let's try it out and see what happens.
No, it's very expensive.
It's expensive. Like one train alone is like $200.
Yeah.
That's just the train, not even like the tracks or anything.
These people are crazy. I just think of Sheldon from Big Bang.
Well, I mean, it's like, like that. And then I just finished watching Big Bang Theory again, so that also piqued my train interest. But just it's crazy. But then I said to Josh, he was like, wow, everything's so crazy. I'm like, well, think about it. You just take this and replace it with comic books or any other hobby.
Well, a comic book doesn't cost $200 an issue.
Well, I mean, if you really got into it, if you get into it as much as these guys get into the trains, like those guys that are at the shows, like a Scott or someone like that, that's basically, they just replace trains with comic books.
Comics are much cheaper hobby to get into.
If you were to get deep into it, like those guys, and having boxes and boxes and selling stuff, and
it's different.
I'm
saying if you're a kid,
it's basically any hobby you can get into.
If you want to get into a hobby, it's much cheaper than trade.
But I'm just saying it's the dedication and stuff like that too. Like Josh was like, I can't believe these guys came all the way from Arizona. I'm like, well, think about it. It's just like any other hobby. If you get into it, whatever your mecca for your hobby is, you go to. It's just like a Comic-Con for train guys. That's all this was.
Yeah, it's train nerds.
Yeah. A lot of older white gentlemen.
Of course, to be expected.
Yeah.
Speaking of older white gentlemen, we should get into the Royal Rumble. I tuned it in.
Okay.
I tuned it in, Mark.
I heard.
I saw what I thought was Alex Jones doing the worm on the ground.
It's Otis. His name is Otis.
And then they cut to a guy coming into the ring, and he had already got booted out. And then I saw these two guys who literally did nothing One guy was super pale. He had red hair.
That's Sheamus.
He was with this other dude, and they
Drew
literally
McIntyre.
hung out by the side of the ring doing nothing.
Well, because they're strategery. That's strategery. They're trying to stay away from
is not eliminated. A word.
That is a word now. It's probably in the dictionary at this point. But you try to avoid getting thrown over the top rope. So
but nobody was going after them. They were just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. They're just,
I did try. I don't know who any of these people are. So to me, it made no sense. I mean, I remember the Royal Rumble, obviously, from being a kid.
Yeah.
I remember it brought back memories of the Royal Rumbles I used to watch, like when I think it was.
When it first started, the Royal Rumble used to have the thing: if you won the Royal Rumble, you became the champion. Like even the champion would be in the Royal Rumble. They moved away from that, and that kind of whoever wins the Royal Rumble now goes to WrestleMania as the main eventer. Like they fight the champion. Like that's like your big thing into the Royal Rumbles now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I remember,
it used to be like the yearly reset of the show, kind of like
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I think it wasn't Hacksaw. It was who was the guy?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan won the first Royal Rumble.
Well, I remember
1988.
Who's the guy that used to make the weird face? That wasn't Hacksaw. Anyway,
he used to make the weird face.
He used to do this. He used to do
Bushwhacker.
Like the Bushwhacker.
He came in and got eliminated instantly.
Yes, that was my favorite. Like he walks in, they grab him. He walks across the ring. They grab him,
they throw him out, and he starts doing the Bushwhacker.
He just walks away, and I was so excited. He was like my favorite, and I was so disappointed. I was like, "What happened?" Anyway,
the story behind that is that he wanted to do it as a joke, and he fought for a long time, like multiple years, to get into the Royal Rumble just to do that. Because he thought it'd be hilarious.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. I don't want to know the backstory.
All right. Well, I'm just telling you. That's what it was.
No, it's fine. I'm kidding. I don't care. It's a moment I will always remember.
It's one of the classic Royal Rumble moments.
It is.
Yeah.
But I tuned it in on Peacock. I checked it out on the cock.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I don't like I said in our chat, if I was in an environment where I'm with you, with someone who this is what they love.
I wouldn't say love. Like is more like it. Like
you enjoy.
Enjoy, yes.
Okay. Yeah. If I'm in a room with people who enjoy this, and I can see the enjoyment radiating from you, and I could get into it because you're into it, and you could explain who these people are. But for some schmo watching at home, I was just like, this is a bunch of vanilla NPC guys. I don't know who anybody is. I'm not attached to anybody. I tried to just tune it in.
Of all the shows besides WrestleMania, Royal Rumble's probably the best jumping in point of any wrestling thing. Because you can jump into a Rumble and not really, like you said, not know anything.
I don't know.
You could still enjoy the spectacle of it and the athleticism in it.
But by yourself, it's just not fun.
No, I'm saying if you had other people around you that knew what was going on, that's like the best way to intro a friend into wrestling. Either be Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. Like,
I'm not saying I want to start watching wrestling. What I'm saying is I'm willing to give it a shot.
You're going to have a party and invite friends over, and there was friends who weren't wrestling fans that you wanted to still invite over because you want to make them feel left out. That's the two shows you can invite them to and still like I have friends who have WrestleMania meet parties and they have friends they invite that don't watch wrestling all year long.
And they just watch
still come to WrestleMania parties, like a Super Bowl party.
Right.
You don't have to be a fan of the sport to watch the big event because it's
it's a big event.
Yeah, the grand look of it and the spectacle of it and all this stuff.
I don't watch football generally, but I'll watch the Super Bowl.
We watch it for the commercials. Yeah.
Commercials, halftime show, if the game is good, depending who the teams are. But it's not a sport I'm into, but I'm into the spectacle, the live Oh my
aspect of
God.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love live events.
Which is a fun thing with the Royal Rumble too, because it's like the I enjoy it as it's my favorite premium live event, they call them now, as opposed to pay-per-views, because you don't have to pay to watch them anymore besides having a Peacock subscription.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So I enjoy the Royal Rumble because it's like the craziness of the Royal Rumble. The like anything can happen kind of aspect of it. Like you can like there's going to be people that mess up and accidentally get eliminated that weren't supposed to be eliminated, and guys who are supposed to do things and it doesn't work out, and they have to like move on their feet to change the match. Like that's why you were talking about those two guys standing in the corner during that time frame. They were supposed to be something happening, but someone accidentally got eliminated, so the thing they were supposed to do couldn't happen. So they were just kind of like, you have to figure it out on the fly. Like, okay, we got to change everything now because what we were supposed to have happen isn't going to happen now. So we got to like figure out something to make it work.
I mean, the Royal Rumble to me, it is action because it's just in and out, in and out. Like
it's 2 minutes, a new person every 2 minutes.
Yeah,
so
every
it's
2 minutes.
It's not going to be bland. It's not going to stay bland for long.
I think some of the worst wrestling to me, it's like the intros of some people are really exciting, but once they start wrestling, you're just kind of like, all right.
Well, there's some guys who are just thrown in, like the Bushwhacker.
They're fodder.
They're just kind of like, cannon fodder guys.
Yeah,
like they're not
Red
really,
shirts.
they don't really have a chance. They're not really going to make the end, but they're there to do the big spots and do the things that they get eliminated by the big guy.
The guy doing the worm. I mean, he was not going to win.
No, he's a tag team guy. He's not going to make it. He's not going to go all the way. No. Like that's the thing. They throw a lot of tag team guys that kind of like cannon fodder the rest of for the bigger name guys.
Do you remember the Legion of Doom? When there was like 4 of them.
Yes.
But you only had up to 3. So one of them would hide underneath the ring and they would flip. They would switch out when they get tired. Remember that shit you used to do?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was like in the 2000s. That was like,
The Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Then remember, and then Earthquake and Typhoon.
Yes, the natural disasters.
Natural disaster. I drew them. I had them on my wall. No joke.
That was back when I collected the figures.
Yeah,
I had all the figures.
The rubber wrestling
LGNs would probably be worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
I mean, I had Roddy Piper.
I had all of them. I had the ring. I had everything.
Yeah, I love Roddy Piper.
Sold them all at a tag sale for like $20.
Why would you sell that stuff?
I was a teenager. I didn't care. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. I sold my Castle Grayskull with all the figures for like $30 to some kid.
You got a good deal.
Whatever. I was like that time in like middle school where you're like trying to figure out who you are and trying to like not be a nerd and trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I cleaned out all that stuff. The only thing I didn't get rid of was Star Wars stuff. I knew that was going to be something. Everything else is like, man, He-Man, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, who cared about He-Man? Nobody.
You grow out of it, I guess.
Yeah. It's also taking up space in the basement.
I regrettably sold stuff growing up that I wish I had.
Yeah. Like I saw like train sets that I had when I was a kid at that train show over the weekend that are selling for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm like, I had all that stuff. I just got rid of it. Sold it at a tag sale. Some guy probably bought it and was probably reselling it for the price I was going to buy it for.
You live and learn.
Yeah.
But anyway, so who won the Royal Rumble?
Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes' son.
Right. Okay. So
American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
I asked, my brother, my grandfather.
No, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
So wait, whose son is it?
Dusty Rhodes had the polka dots.
Yes. Yeah, I remember Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, that's his son.
Wow. Now, was there a female Royal Rumble?
Yes,
or was that all?
was.
Okay, so who won the female Royal Rumble?
Rhea Ripley, who you'll have no idea who she is.
No. Now, how does that work? Do they have to fight? They have a champion they have to fight in the
They have 2 champions for the women right now. They have Bianca Belair on the Raw side, Charlotte Flair, who was Ric Flair's daughter, on the SmackDown side.
Oh my God! So it's like half of these are like related. To
there's a lot of legacies now. A lot of legacies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
like
crazy.
Cody Rhodes, his dad wrestled. Randy Orton, his dad wrestled.
Doesn't Andre the Giant's son wrestle?
No.
Or didn't he?
He might have, but not like in the big stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of like ancillary guys. Like Roman Reigns' dad was one of the head shrinkers back in the day. He's the big champion. He has both belts. The Usos, who have the tag team belts for both shows, they're Rikishi's sons.
Mm-hmm.
And their other brother, Solo Sikoa, is also Rikishi's son. So there's a lot of younger kids of wrestlers that we watched growing up. They're now wrestling. Like Natalya Neidhart is still wrestling. Her dad was Anvil Neidhart from back in the day.
So Andre the Giant, I looked it up. He doesn't have a son. He has a daughter.
Yeah, a daughter. That's right. Yeah.
But people thought, or there's a theory, which obviously is not true, that the
Giant.
The Big Show.
Big Show. They promoted him as Andre the Giant's son in WCW back in the day when he first debuted. Because he went after Hulk Hogan to avenge what Hulk Hogan did to his dad at WrestleMania. That was the story that they went with at the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like conflicting. He has no son, he has a daughter, but then this whole like Big Show thing.
Yeah, it's just in storyline wise, that was the story they went with. He's not really his son.
Yeah, it says in 2018, Big Show recalls being billed as Andre the Giant's son in WCW. As noted, WWE veteran Big Show appears as the guest, the WWE Hall of Famer. Okay, so he was being billed, but he wasn't really.
He wasn't,
interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's who I was thinking of because I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was in the 90s. Yeah, that was like right before like the Monday Night Wars where it got crazy and WCW and WWE had shows at the same time and like millions and millions of people were watching wrestling at the time.
Well, that was in the early 2000s.
Well, yeah, it was like late 90s, late 2000s. Like when we were just getting out of high school, basically.
Yeah, but like, after high school, wrestling exploded again because that was The Rock. You had John Cena. You had a lot of these big characters coming out of wrestling at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember, wrestling was super hot in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like 2001, 2002.
Yeah. Then WCW like closed, got bought by WWE.
Right. So basically, it's just going to be WWE.
And then all kind of like went away again.
It's not as big as it once was.
It's getting back to that point again because there's another company, AEW, that the guy who owns the son of the guy who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars is running All Elite Wrestling, and that's on TNT and TBS.
Oh, I've seen commercials for that.
Yeah, and that's like the new like secondary program.
Gotcha.
Like the counter WWE show.
Right. There's always got to be a
old
counter.
WWE guys who got released from WWE, they go there. Guys get released from AEW or leave AEW, they go back to WWE. So there's like that cross thing now.
Yeah.
Which makes it more interesting because there's more, chances to watch as opposed to it used to be just WWE and that was it. So you had the 2 shows a week and that's all you got. Now there's like multiple.
Right.
There's so many shows now. You can literally every night you could find a wrestling show on TV at this point. Yeah, some company or another company has got a TV, especially now with the streaming stuff. Every company has on some channel. There's a show.
I want Disney Plus wrestling where they have Disney mascots wrestling each other.
There's a possibility that there's talking of it right now, actually, with the whole Vince McMahon stuff, that Disney is one of the people looking to buy WWE.
I wouldn't be surprised. Disney owns everything.
It'd be a big get for them.
Yeah,
probably. AEW is hooked in with Universal, so like they do shows on the lot in Florida. So There's
Interesting.
also talk about Comcast buying it too. So, WWE. So
Yeah, but WWE's on Peacock, which Comcast has
they just have the
stake.
rights to the showing the having the network.
Well, they merged.
WWE used to
They
have their own
merged-
network.
Yeah, but they merged it, so they must own a big
Well, they sold the
stake in
network
it.
to Comcast.
Yeah, so then Comcast owns Peacock.
Yeah.
That's a subsidiary of
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it was the whole
Comcast is owned with
NBC
NBC.
Universal. Yeah.
Universal, yeah.
Yeah. So when they decided to, it was 3 or 4 years ago now, maybe 5 years ago at this point. They when Peacock first started coming around, they had bought the program that they used to make the network, which WWE bought from Major League Baseball when they had their own streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
They bought the technology from them, and then NBC Universal bought it from WWE. So they kind of like flipped it. And when they did that, I think that was the thing. Like they bought like the network basically and just moved it all to Peacock.
Well,
they
yeah,
didn't have to do it themselves, basically.
they want people to like. Honestly, if you think about it, it's a very smart move because if you have Royal Rumble going on Peacock, a schmo like me, be like, oh, I'm interested. I could easily check it out. Where when it was its own app,
you're not going to pay an extra $10 a month to just watch one random show.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think having it right there feels.
And that's all they were paying for. That's all you would pay a month was $10 with a network.
Yeah, I pay $5 and I get it all.
Well, that was the thing with the Peacock was when it first got switched over. If you had a WWE subscription, you got a Peacock subscription. But if you were a Cox customer, when Peacock first came out, they gave it to Cox subscribers. If you had cable, you got it for free.
Yeah, because you have NBC for free.
Yeah,
well, it comes with your subscription, your cable.
So they just ended that just this past month. They no longer, you have to actually pay for it now. So
yeah, well, they want you to get in. Yeah, it's a free year or whatever. Yeah. Shrinking. Speaking of shows that started, I know Shrinking started. I've
not watched it yet. Yeah, I've heard good things.
Allison and me are interested, but we're going to wait for it to end before we watch it. We've seen the trailer. It looks good.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. So we're just going to wait.
Jason Segel, right? Jason Segel. That's the Harrison
Ford. Yeah.
Bill Harmon, is that his?
Bill Harmon. Who's that?
Is that the guy from Scrubs? Oh, Bill Lawrence. That's his name.
Lawrence.
Bill Harmon's the guy from Community.
Dan Harmon.
That's how I was getting confused.
And then before we end the show, Marcus, a show you do watch, Doom Patrol and the Titans are now officially over after season 4.
Yes, which I haven't watched either one of the seasons yet because I was waiting for Doom Patrols to be done for the year that I watch it. Like you were saying with Shrinking. Instead of watching them like weekly, I wait for it to be over with, then I'll just watch them at my leisure.
I do want to check out Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol is way better than Titans.
I have no interest in Titans at all. I have no interest.
Titans, I only watched it because Doom Patrol started there. Like it kind of like connects to the story, kind of. And I guess they do appear in this season of Titans, but it's like an Elseworld kind of thing. Because DC does that where they have the multiple universe thing. So it's a different version of the Doom Patrol or something. I don't know. Certain people from Doom Patrol appear on Titans. So I'll check that out. But I mean, Titans was more CW-y than Doom Patrol is.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Doom Patrol. Also,
the resurgence of Brendan Fraser is from Doom Patrol, not from all these movies that people are talking about. He came back on Doom Patrol, and that's where I refound him again. And I was like, oh my gosh, Brendan Fraser is amazing.
Also, I got to jump back in and watch the last season of Harley Quinn. I've heard nothing but good things, saying the last season was really good. And they have a Valentine's Day special coming out. And
I started watching the newest season. I don't know if I don't know. I think it's just Kelly Cuoco's performance.
Oh, she's good as Harley. The last
She is, but it's just, I don't know, her voice gets very screechy. And it's hard, like, I don't know. Maybe because I just been watching Big Bang Theory.
Maybe.
And I just was like, enough of your voice for a while.
I do want to get back into that. Because I'm not on HBO Max all that much other than The Last of Us. That's a show. And I do want to start Chuck. That's on my list of shows I want to start.
A good one.
I am
quick
excited.
one. There's not that many episodes of it, so there's only like 3 seasons of it. So
3 episodes. I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, there's not many episodes because only 3 seasons. So.
Right. I am excited for Shazam 2. I did enjoy the trailer. I am down to see it.
I don't know.
I like the first one. I really enjoyed
I did too, but it's just, I don't know. This one does, I don't know. I don't know if it's, I don't buy Helen Mirren.
She's in everything.
The villain.
I didn't know she's the villain, but I feel like she's like the villain.
That's like the beginning of it. She's going to be the antagonist of it. Her and Lucy Liu. Was that her? Who it is?
I don't know if it's Lucy Liu. I don't think so.
Yeah, isn't it? From Charlie's Angels?
I don't think it could be. You could be right. Don't quote me because I have no idea. But I am interested in seeing.
I don't know. The trailer did not sell it that big for me.
No?
I don't know. I don't know. I also don't think I think also I remember.
Oh, you're right, Lucy Liu. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know who mentioned it in our group chat. That like the fact that this goes nowhere. Basically, like it has no connection to anything. So kind of, I don't know.
It doesn't bother me.
And like they're not gonna do another one after this one because the universe is being imploded. So
it could be. Who knows? But I'm gonna definitely I'm definitely gonna check it out. I
want to see it, but it's like I just feel like the trailer did not sell it very well for me.
That's fair.
Like I said, I just don't buy Helen Mirren as a super villain.
I'm gonna see Indiana Jones, but I've been not impressed by the trailers at all.
Yeah.
So I get it. Yeah. It happens, but I'm down. All right, Marcus. Is there anything else? I mean, I want to tell everybody, please come down to the East of the River show.
Yes, we'll be doing ads for it all through next month, so you'll hear a lot about it.
The magic of editing. Put the flyer up.
Yes, I will. Yeah,
okay.
As always, it's in the end of the show already. It's been there since I think last month.
All right. Well, I'm excited for the
Scott
show.
Put it out. It's been in the show, so
it's going to be a good one. I've already been putting flyers up around town. I am not done. I'm hoping to put more flyers up this week.
Yeah.
Get the word out. If you are planning on going, anybody out there, we have flyers on our Facebook page.
Yes, and they'll be in the show.
Reddit. Please share. Tell other people.
We'll be there. Come say hi to us. We'll be there.
And I'm going to be doing
Bryon
half off all comics for this show only. Half off.
Heard it here first, kids. Half off.
Every
to be walking around with no top on. Half off.
Actually, me and Elsa were talking about. I should have a sign I'm holding it right above my crotch, and I'm not wearing pants.
Half off.
It's like half off all comics.
Yes.
But yeah, for this show only,
that's why I got tops because it's gonna be winter.
Yeah.
So you want to protect the jewels.
I got 2 boxes filled, all new comics. It's gonna be half off all comics. I got new graphic novels. I got
Remind me
a lot of good stuff.
Remind me before D&D. I'm gonna say this now out loud because I'll forget. I have stuff for you for this show. I have stuff for you for this show.
I have DVDs for you, which I got to give you. So
we got to we have to remind each other before D&D.
We're gonna see each other in like 2 weekends.
Yes, we'll see each other twice in 1 week. So we got Ant-Man and D&D in that same week. So we have to figure this out. We have to make sure we get stuff to each other that week.
Ant-Man the 16th?
Yes. D&D the 19th.
The 18th.
The 18th, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of those we have to make sure we exchange stuff.
All right. We will. We definitely will.
Yes.
All right, Mark. Let's close it up. Let's get out of here.
All right, sir. As always, everybody, be safe, be well, be kind.
Wind.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.